Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. I hope you're having a great day. Beautiful day out, but we're supposed to get some rain later on. And so I'm going to have to try to get out there and do just a little bit of mowing. One of the things that is helping me right now is the fact that I have such a small audience. And the smaller audience is going to be able to hear more things than what the larger audiences are going to hear, because of the fact that my videos are not as patrolled and cared about as some of the others. Now, you get videos that have thousands and thousands of people watching them, and that can be quite a situation. On my two channels, I have less than 10 on one, and I have only 50 on the other. And because of that, nobody's real worried about what I have to say. Now, I want to talk a little bit, though, about the things that are being said. One thing that I have specifically listened to, and it has been very important information to me because it has come from the top. People that are rubbing shoulders with President Trump have specifically stated that no one, even if you're completely wide awake, is going to have more than 20% of the information. Well, I've been doing my research since the beginning of the 90s. And I will say that the research has changed since the year 2012. A lot of the things that I believed in the early days were basic fact. However, there were a lot of changes that began around the year 2012. That was the time that Barack Obama was running for re-election. And it was also the time when the kinds of systems that we have that we can do our research on kind of changed. And because of both of those things, the information began to change. The reason that the information began to change is because of the fact that there was more information out there. It was during the 2012 to 2014 part of the research that I began to learn that the American people were going to be eliminated. It got to the point where I was seeing that as few as 30 to 50, maybe 60 million people would be left in this country if the globalists got their way. And it was kind of a shocking thing, but nonetheless a very, very interesting thing. But then we started getting a better look at Project Looking Glass and some of the other kinds of programs that were out there. A lot of them, had to do with the beginning of the time that the Nazi scientists were here in the United States, and they were kind of changing a lot of things. It was believed, of course, by those of us who are Americans that the American scientists were in charge, but it was very interesting how much authority and how much opportunity the scientists from Germany were given the opportunity to kind of take control of a lot of things. And that should never have happened, but unfortunately it did. And that makes a lot of difference because of the fact that a lot of the situations that came through the CIA and the FBI and so on were changing for the worst. Now, people, as I said, will tell you that you're going to maybe know, if you're wide awake, 20% of what's going on. I think I have a little bit of an unfair advantage because of the fact that I've been involved with different types of research, and I have been able to learn a lot of things that other people probably are not going to know. From the early 90s and until 2012, I was able to get some information that many people who have been researching have not been able to get. And because of that, my situation might be a little bit different than a lot of other people. And so based on that, I believe that when everything is said and done, my information is probably going to be closer to 50 or 60% and not 20%. Most of the rest of the people are going to find, unfortunately, that they have maybe 10 or 20% of it all correct. We kind of are working from behind the eight ball. The education that you received maybe gave you 1 or 2%, maybe 3% of the truth, of the fact. And that's pretty sad, because the higher you get into your education, as you become a master's degree and then you get into the doctorate, it's even less than that. And those people are so far from the truth that they're actually hanging on a different tree than the rest of us doggone monkeys. And it's kind of sad, because they are conditioned, and majorly conditioned. And I listen to these people, and as I speak and say different things, they'll say, "Oh, not true, not true." You were conditioned to think not true because you weren't told the truth to begin with. The media never told you the truth. The movies never told you the truth. The music industry never told you the truth. The TV never told you the truth. You never learned the truth in any educational situation that you were in. You were just conditioned, and that's it. So you're like Pavlov's dogs. And when you see something, you automatically regurgitate whatever it is that they taught you to say. And it's really unfortunate. And I don't care who you are and what you think you are or any of that. You're not going to know the whole truth. Somebody told me, he says, I hope you're right. And I said, if I'm 50% right, I'll consider it a victory. And that is the unfortunate fact. But the good news is I can get away with saying, unfortunately, a lot more than more people, because of the fact that I am such a small place here. Now, I could have 300 or 400 or 500 subscribers instead of 50. And that would be okay, because I would still be under the radar. The other channel can afford a number of new subscribers as well, because it's pretty much under the radar as well. But the thing is that we're going to learn the truth. The truth is going to give us an opportunity just to see how close we were. And some of us who were doing a lot of research are going to find that it's kind of interesting to find out. But I kind of feel bad for the not true people. I feel as bad for them as I do the fictitious character called God people. They're all messed up and they don't know what they're doing. All they know is that they were conditioned to believe those weird things. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. I hope that you're having a great day. Please remember to give us a thumbs up and to subscribe. But most of all, you have a good day. Now, a good day always begins with good prayers, and if they reach the throne of God, you're going to have a good day. God's going to make sure of that. So, good day.